1 Episode 1. Pilo. You are listening at FameTV.info. For years and years witches have been killed. Either burned at the stake or drowned. And all for practicing something people didn't understand. But now we aren't taking place in no year 3000 or something. We are going back in time. To when witches were accepted for what they were. And evil witches were killed. And witches weren't the only thing that lived at this time. All creatures were real. But only witches were ruling. People worshipped them. They were the most powerful living creatures alive. But now let's get into the story. The place we take place at is a castle. It was night time. A girl that looked as if she was sneaking was holding a bag. She was also holding her stomach. She was pregnant. She looked to be 6 to 8 months. Don't worry, sweetheart. Daddy will be here soon. She rubbed her belly. She looked around before she crossed the corner. A man with a boy and 2 little girls were hiding away behind some bushes. The little boy spoke. You think she made it? He sounded worried. The man turned to him and the girls. Don't worry. She's fine. Your mother is one strong woman. He looks back at the castle. She will make it. Suddenly the doors open. The woman stood there. The man smiled and went to her. Let me get that. He grabbed the bag from her and put it over his shoulder. He let her put her arm around him as he helped her walk toward the children. Mommy, the boy ran to her, hugging her tightly. Riley, sweetly, you need to be quiet. The woman rubbed his cheek. Do you think you could get us away from here now? The man whispered. She looked at him. No, not yet. My sister enchanted this land. I can't use my magic yet. Not until we are far away. He kissed her cheek. Okay, he stood up and held the little girl's hands. Misty and Willow, don't let go, okay? The girls shook their heads. The woman held Riley's hand. That goes for you too, he smiled up at her. He stood close to his mother. Mommy, I love you. She smiled at him and kissed his head. I love you too, my handsome prince. You ready? The man looked at the woman. She nodded. After walking for hours they make it to a farm. Do you think anyone lives here? The man asked, looking at the woman concerned. She shook her head. No one has lived here for years. They both look around before entering the empty house. The man locks the door while the woman sits down. Oh gods! She rubs her stomach. He turns to her. I'm sorry, my love. He kisses her stomach. Morning came quickly. The sun shined through the cracks in the house. Shining into the man's eyes. He woke up rubbing them. When he could see, he looked around and saw Katrina and the children still asleep. He smiled. They look so peaceful. He suddenly heard horses and men. I think they went this way. A man's voice is heard outside the house. The man stood and looked out of the cracks. He saw men on horses. They were guards. He froze. He couldn't let them take Katrina back to that awful place. Same as the kids. He stood and walked over to Katrina and the children. I love you. He kissed all their heads and slowly walked out the back door. He bent down behind a corner. Just on the other side were the guards. He took a deep breath. Then he ran. Hey fools! Over here! He ran away from them, making them chase him. He looked back at house. Never forget. Katrina awoke hearing yelling. She stood up and looked outside. She saw the man running. Leon, no, she covered her mouth. She began to cry. She didn't want him to die. Leon stopped. The men surrounded him. One of the men got off his horse. Tell us where the princess is, you peasant. The man kicked Leon down. His face in the dirt. Come on, he picked Leon up by his hair. Or I'll slit your throat like a pig. He put his sword to Leon's throat. Leon laughed. It doesn't matter if I die. Just knowing she and the children are safe makes me happy. He leaned close to the blade, making his throat bleed a little. Go on. Do it. Be a man. Leon shouted at the man. The man looked at him. You would really die just knowing that. Not caring if something did happen to them while you die, he let go of Leon. I don't want to kill you now. He walked back to his horse. Leon stood. Please kill me. Just do it. Do it for your queen, he shouted louder. There was no point of living. If they killed him, Katrina would get away. And no one would know where she is. Come on. Kill me, you bastard. The man turned to Leon. So pathetic. He called for the guards to hold Leon down while they tie him to a horse. Now, the man got on his horse. We'll see what you have to say to the queen when you tell her that you took her poor baby sister away. He laughed and started to ride. Along with the other guards. Dragging Leon with them. He couldn't keep up. His legs dragged while they rode faster. They all laughed at him while he screamed in pain. Katrina cried as she watched the love of her life be dragged away. She screamed in pain, waking the kids up. She fell to her knees. Mommy, mommy, the boy hugged his mother. Are you okay? She whipped her tears and stood. Yes, she knew she couldn't stay there long. It wouldn't take that long to kill Leon and her sister, to find her and the children. She went to her bag and pulled out a book. The book looked old. The papers were torn. She flipped through them. She stopped when she came to a page that had a picture of a clock. She looked at the kids. Come to me. Grab onto my dress and hold on tight. They did as she asked, and she began to chant the words from the book. Come here, come now. The ancient words of time. Take me to a place better than mine. Listen to the full novel at FameTV.info, direct link in the description.